Hey guys, okay, so today I'm going to be making a card, or actually I'm going to be showing you how to make two cards. One's a Father's Day card, and one is this card that I got inspiration from another YouTube video, and I'll put the link down below. I'm just going to show you the steps on how to make it. The measurements are really hard to kind of do right here on camera, so I'm just going to put it down in the description box. I'm just going to show you how to make the actual card. I'm going to first show you the cards first, and for my Father's Day card I got the inspiration from an online blog, I believe. I just Google image and then I clicked on it and it led me to a blog, so I'm just going to show you how I did that. Yeah, so I'm going to first start off with the cards. So the first card was this Happy Father's Day card. So it's just like this with a little tie and his little collar. And when you open it, it's like this. So the side here, when you open it, the collar doesn't go anywhere, it just stays on top. And your card is going to be a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 card, so it fits in an A2 envelope. And for this card, what you can do is you can open it this way, open it this way, and then open it back that way. So it's like a little magic card type thing. I don't know if you could see it. So yeah, you could just keep going on. And you can always start from different parts here. So the measurements for these little parts here, they're kind of hard, so I'm just going to put them down in the description box so that way you know. And I can also take pictures and kind of just put it at the end of the video. And so this one I actually just use white cardstock, but today we're going to use craft cardstock. And I just used some vintage photo distress ink, and I inked up around all these edges because this pattern paper that I used was from Messiah from Memories. Pattern paper by Recollections. This also matches my mind's eye, I think Stella and Rose. So this I used for this card, and there's a lot of distressing in it, so I distressed the card itself so it wasn't so stark. And for this one I used, I don't have the papers right now, but I used some Father's Day paper from Autumn Leaves, and one has just these little tool, I forgot what they're called, sorry, but yeah, I used that for the tie, and just blue cardstock, and then I just cut out a heart from that same paper I used on the tie. And then the background piece here is also from Autumn Leaves, and it's just a dad paper, but these are really old papers that I have in my stash, so I don't know if they still have them or not. And it's good to use double-sided paper if you want a different pattern for the collars, but I like the white collar a little bit better just because it matched with this here. Today we're going to be using a different stack of papers. I'm not sure where it was. I got it from Tuesday morning in a pack of just random pattern papers, so sorry for not knowing what these papers are, where these papers are from. So I just have a scrap piece of craft cardstock, and you'll see what I'm going to do with this. You won't need a full size, or a full sheet, so if you have a scrap piece you can use this. So I'm going to use that. And for these, the pattern papers, I'm going to be using this B one. It's very boyish, so I just thought I could use this for the Father's Day card. So this one is just like a little border strip. And then this one has a little diamond pattern with bees just flying all over it. And then this is just a yellow fiddle pattern here. It's like a tone-on-tone pattern of flowers, and then the bees are in like a navy blue on the side. And for the card base, I'm going to be using basil cardstock, and it's just this like really faint yellow, and it matches perfectly with this here. So it's a little off, but I think it goes perfectly good with this. And one last thing, I'm going to put it in the description box, but you're going to need some kind of template for your tie. And I found this one online, and what I did was I just printed it out, and I put removable adhesive on the back and stuck it down to an acetate piece so that way I could always reuse it like it's a sticker, and it just removes easily. And I just trace it on my pattern paper, and I'll just show you how I do this one really quick. And for this card here, you're just going to need one piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 11. But I'll show you the steps to make this card as well. And I'm just using craft cardstock. So I'm just gonna, for this card, the Father's Day card here, I'm just gonna cut everything down so you don't have to watch me do that. And I'll just go over everything together. Alright, so I got all my papers cut. So I'm just gonna go really fast here to tell you the measurements. So for the card, you're gonna want a 8.5 by 4.25 piece of paper, or your card base. This is going to be your card base, and I'm again using Bazzo cardstock, and this is their textured cardstock. And you can score this because Bazzo cardstock is very thick, so I'm just going to score this at 4.25. So you're going to have a 4.25 square card, but the dimensions are actually going to measure 4.25 by 5.5, and you'll see why. Gonna do this actually tiny. Okay, so for your whole t-shirt part here, you're going to want a piece that measures 4.25 by 5.5. This part here, I'll show you how to make it fit perfectly on the card, and you'll just have the collar popping off, and I will show you how to do that after I show you all the measurements. Okay, so for the mats in the front, this piece here measures 4 by 4 square. The piece that's going to go on top measures 3.25 or 3.75 by 3.75 square. And then for the inside of the card, because I don't like it so plain, I like to have something there. Just to bring it in from the t-shirt part, I'm going to bring in here. This measures 3.75 or 4 inches square, and this one's 3.75, and it's just that scrap piece of craft that I told you that you can have. Okay, so you'll also need just another piece of this for your tie, and a pattern paper too if you want that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your 4.25 by 5.5 piece of pattern paper, and you're going to take a ruler. I'm just going to use this EK Success centering ruler, and you're going to want to, so because this measures 4.25 and this is 5.5, you're going to want to go down, I think like, see, I go down 1 inch, I believe. Let's see, sorry. Yeah, so you're going to do this. So on the long side here, the 5.5 piece, you're just going to measure down 1 inch from the top. On both sides. You're just going to mark it. It doesn't matter where you mark it. Okay, so now that you have 1 inch there, you're going to, from the inside of, or from your 1 inch mark here, you're going to measure 3/4 of an inch. And I actually go over to 7/8 of an inch, so because I like my collars a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to go to 7/8 of an inch on, sorry, yeah, 7/8 of an inch on both sides. Okay, and you can use your scissors to cut this out, but I'm going to use my paper trimmer. I have like this feeling I'm going to mess it up, and I don't want to. So, you're just going to line it up with the 1 inch mark on your paper trimmer. Sorry if you can't see this. And you're just going to go from the 1 inch mark here on the ruler on your side of the paper trimmer, just go down to 7/8. So I'm just actually going to do that from here to that here. Okay. So this is going to make it your collar. I'm just going to erase the pencil marks that I made. Even though the paper is dark, I didn't really do that much. So now you're going to have these two pieces here. And you're just going to leave this piece alone for right now. And we're going to work on the tie. So I'm just going to use this border piece, or this border paper here, and a scrap piece of cardstock. And I'm going to make, so you're going to have your little template cut out. And you're going to put removable adhesive and just stick it down and you're just going to trim it out. Here I did a border of black to pop it off. You could do that with the craft cardstock, or if you're not going to do it with some black as well, or white, any color you want actually. But I'm just going to actually leave it the way it is. And for the tie, the long part of the tie here, I'm just going to peel that off. I'm going to use this piece of paper, so I'm just going to line it up with the top here. And I'm just going to trim this out also. Alright. So now you have that, you just peel off the template, and if you have some sticker sheets that you're done with, you can always just use it for your template. So that's what I do with that. And so now you have your little tie here, as well as your, or the base part for your tie, so I should say. Okay, now we're just gonna get to the whole card part. We're just going to adhere everything down. I should have my ETG out so that way it's easier here. So I'm just going to adhere all of my, or before actually, I should actually do this. Sorry about that. So organized. Okay. So for this piece here, I'm just going to meet the two. I don't know if you can see this. I'll zoom in. Okay. So for these two pieces that you have here, that are that you cut, you're just gonna meet them towards the center. You can see that. And you're just gonna hold it down, and you're gonna press with your finger. And you could use your bone folder to crease the lines. Okay, and then I do this after. I use some brads on mine. I use these light blue turquoise brads. I don't know if you can see that, yeah. And today I'm just going to use some metal brads that are like this. And the hole punch I use is the Fiskars 1/8 hole punch. I'm just going to zoom out here. Whoops, if I did it right. Okay, so now we're going to adhere this to the card base. Now you don't need to worry about adhering the collar part, because that's not going to be anywhere near your card base. Okay. And if you have extra hanging over, you can always trim it off. So I'm just lining it up here. Oops. I'm just going to trim this off. Okay. So, here. Okay. So now we can place our maps. So I have this piece here, and this one I rounded the corners, but because it took a little while. Yeah, I'm not gonna round the corners for this card here, but in the beginning I said that for this piece of paper here for your shirt, it's going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. It's actually going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Sorry about that. I measured it wrong. But yeah, so instead of cutting this at 4 1/4 by 5.5, do 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that way when you take off an inch, it measures 4 1/4. Makes sense, right? Okay, sorry about that. So now I'm just going to adhere my maps down. The maps are going to stay the same because I actually was going by the whole 4 1/4 card base. Ooh. Okay, so now that you have your card pieces down, we're going to get our little tie here. And I just kind of put the tie down, this long piece down first, and then I put this piece on top. Okay, and now I'm just going to adhere this down. By lining the tip part to the bottom, and you could center this just eyeballing here. Okay, and then we're just going to adhere the top part of this. Sorry, I'm not on camera. Okay. And that was not enough adhesive. See the top part. Nope. Okay. Now that we have everything on to the card, we're going to do the brad. So I'm just going to take my 1/8 hole punch and I'm just going to eyeball where I want it. It's going to be going through a couple of layers here, so you want a good hole punch. Okay. So I punched my holes and I'm going to stick down my brads. And it's fine if it goes through the card. My other one didn't, but it doesn't bother me. I don't think my dad will mind either. It's handmade, so it's made with love. Okay, so now that you have this done, we can just work on the inside of the card. So that's going to be there. I have this piece here. My teacher needs to cooperate. Okay, and just your craft piece here. And now you could just decorate it the way that you want. So here is the finished card. I'll have pictures at the end showing you finished, or just this card here. And now we're just going to work on our little magic card, that's what I call it. It's a little magic card. I didn't put any sentiment on it yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. So, the first thing you're going to want is a piece of cardstock. Now it doesn't matter, it's going to have to be an 8.5 by 11 because we're just going to cut it in half. So one 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock is good for 2 of these cards. So we're just going to cut this in half at 4 1/4. Now you want it to be cut at the 8.5 so that way you have a long piece here. Okay, so the first thing you want, and I shouldn't have put this away, you're going to cut this in half. So you're going to cut it at 5 1/2. So now you have 2 pieces that measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you're going to take one piece here, and you're going to, on the 4 1/4 piece here, you're going to take your bone folder or your scoring blade, and you're going to measure 1 1/16. And that's the little line right after the 1. I'm pretty sure all of you guys know that. So now you have those marked there. Okay, so that you can put aside for now. And then this piece on the 5 1/2 inch piece, you're going to mark it, or you're going to score it at 1 3/8. Ooh, that was not good. Sure that you do your nice score lines there. And you do at the right score line. So, okay. To make sure that this is right. Okay. Now you're going to bring in this piece here, and you're going to be cutting this in half as well. So this is going to be cut at 2 3/4. Okay, so now you have this piece that's going to be measuring 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. You're going to have 2 pieces of those. Now for this piece here, you're going to cut it at 2 1/8. So that's going to be cut in half as well. So you're going to have 2 halves of each one. Okay, so now you're going to have 2 pieces that measure 5 1/2 by 2 1/8, and 2 pieces that measure 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in, because I can't really see anything I'm doing, just this piece here. And I'm just going to fold all my lines, or my score lines in. Oop. Alright, so now I'm just going to grab some ATG, and you're going to take your 2 pieces that measure 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and right here, not anywhere in this center piece, but on these 2 pieces here, you're just going to add adhesive from the score line and a little bit like halfway with adhesive. So I'm just going to do that for the bottom. I'm going to do that on the bottom here, as well as the top on this piece here. I use a glue stick on the other one just because I feel like it works better, but it's up to you. So you're going to line them up like this. And you're going to take your 2 little pieces here that measure, sorry, I just have a little template here with all the measurements, that measures 5 1/2 by 2 1/8, and you're just going to line it up. I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to line this side up here with this, and then you're going to push it down. Okay, so I don't know if I told you guys, but it's best if you, when you fold all your score lines, to fold them back and forth, because you want to kind of break the fibers in the paper, so that way it's easier for you to kind of not mess around with it, but to like open and close, so it opens up easily, so you don't have a hard time like trying to open it and close it. So now we're just going to line up these pieces together. Like so. So now it looks like this. Okay, and you're going to have this open. So this is going to be half of that part here. And the back is going to look like this. Now, the one where the adhesive is on the top, the easiest way that I do this, like the way that I do this, is I just line up this bottom piece here, or this piece up the top, I mean, to this piece right here. I match them up together, and I just push it down, and that's the card. So you can either open it this way or from here. So you just open it up like this, then you open it up, oops, like this, and then, so you can do it this way, this way. Okay, so for this, you can turn it into this. And I'll put the measurements for the pattern papers for the sizes, because there's so many, and I will kind of do it starting, just so that way you guys know, starting from this piece here, from this here, opening it up like this, or actually no, yeah, okay, sorry about that. So starting from here, when I put the measurements down, I'm going to start from these 2 long pieces in front. And then, so that way when you open it, you're going to have these 2 pieces here and these here. And then I'll start doing the measurements and starting there and opening like this, and then the back piece here, and then it ends again with this. So I'll do that in the description box. And then for this card here, you can go on and round the corners if you'd like, or you can just add your little sentiment here and just do what you want with your cards. So hope this helps, or hope this gave you guys an idea. And also put my inspiration down in the description box. And I'll just put the links to lead you to the template for the tie, the video that helped or inspired me to do it like this, and the blog that I saw this card on. Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye.